Hi, my name is Marisa Palermo, and today I'm going to talk to you about the effects of divorce on children. So, divorce is kind of one of those topics that people don't like to really talk about. It's kind of a big personal thing in people's lives. Um, their marriage just isn't working out, and parents might think that is the right thing to do, but there's an impact on the children that is not always seen, especially by parents who are trying to deal with other things, trying to have a career, provide a home for their children. And a lot of parents think that their children are going to react differently, like, oh, that's not going to be how my child is. But the truth is that they're so busy that sometimes they just overlook the negative. So, what are the negative impacts? As you can see on slide one, I've highlighted a couple of them. For starters, children of divorce can suffer academically. Their grades can start to slip. They are less likely to graduate. And sometimes they just have overall behavior problems. They're lashing out, acting out because they're upset about their parents' divorce. They're also more likely to commit juvenile crimes and be incarcerated at some point in their life, not necessarily as a juvenile, but later as an adult maybe. Also, when parents split, especially if both parents are working, no longer is the same household supported by two incomes. And therefore, children of divorce are 5 times more likely to live in poverty at some point. But this is also not always the case. And children impacted from divorce are more likely to experiment with drugs, alcohol, and sexual intercourse versus teenagers who are not impacted at some point. As you can see on the second slide, I've also highlighted some of the positive things. So not everything about divorce can be negative. There are some positives that affect the children. For one, is that especially children living in a female-headed household, so children who end up living with their mother versus their father, they tend to not be pressured into gender-conforming roles. So, like, a father won't pressure his son as much to be the star football player versus, taking up, like, piano or something that's considered girly. Because there's an absence of one parent, regardless if they're living with their mother or father, children often have more responsibilities. Parents need help with household chores, taking care of younger siblings if they have them. And because of this, they develop more skills. They're able to help out more in the household. They know how to help take care of children if they have younger siblings, or if their parent remarries and they have they have more kids, then they kind of learn how to help take care of them that way too. And also, their definition of gender-conforming roles is altered. So they don't see kitchen work as strictly for women, and they don't see outside work strictly for men so much. And then some researchers also argue that children of divorce have a greater feeling of self-efficacy, and it's possible it's because of these responsibilities that they have to take on, and they also just mature a lot faster. There was a study done starting in 1970, as you can see on the third slide. Judith Wallerstein, who was a psychologist, studied a group of children starting in the 1970s, and she interviewed them 18 months, and then 5, 10, 15, and 25 years after their parents' divorce. She had expected to see improvement in the children's behavior and things like that, but that's not what she found. So even 25 years after a parent's divorce, the group of children, for the most part, was still experiencing fear of loss and fear of change. And then also, the older people of the group, or like those, once they started getting into their personal romantic relationships, they struggled because of the impact of their parents' divorce. So overall, what's the verdict? So as you can see on the last slide, the fourth slide, I've highlighted some personal experience of mine. My parents got divorced when I was 6, almost 7. My dad stayed in Connecticut, and we moved to Idaho, to Twin Falls. So, being the oldest child in my family, I definitely kind of felt like I had to be more responsible and I had to help take care of my younger brother and sister, even though they're, really close in age, a year and 2 years younger than me. Um, and I was also expected to kind of help, with the household chores, dishes, laundry, keeping the living room clean, things like that, were also kind of things that my mom kind of taught me to help her with. When I was in high school, I definitely kind of had that feeling of behavior problems. I acted out. I didn't like authority. I ditched class sometimes, snuck in and out of the house. But I had good grades. I never smoked, drank, did any kind of drugs in high school. Um, and just overall, like, I learned how to help take care of my family and still find the balance. Like, I needed to finish to do schoolwork and participate in sports, and then apparently sneak in and out of the house. So as you can see, like, not everything applied to me personally, and even my brother and sister, they were impacted in different ways. Um, so even like within a family, every child is different, and every family is going to be different. In some cases, none of these things will apply, or sometimes only the negative or only the positive will apply. Um, it honestly just depends on the family and the situation. Um, but just because that some of these might not happen or none of them might not happen, it's still something that parents should be concerned about if they get divorced or thinking about it, and definitely things that they should be on the lookout for. Thank you.